Yo, what's good? What's good, my people? It's your boy Jason Gooner. You know what time it is. It's Friday night, people. So we have some EPL matches coming up this weekend. It's the final weekend before the international break. We're excited for that. Jamaica taking on the United States. But tonight, we have some different matters to discuss. It is the EPL. It is match week 11. So this is going to be a crucial week for some of these teams. I can tell you that right now, especially my team, the one who I support, the one whose jersey you see me wear almost every week, pretty much every week, Arsenal Football Club. This is a crossroads for Arsenal and Arteta, I believe. But we're not going to start the program with the Arsenal talk and the crisis discussions, right? We're going to talk about all the teams. You know our style. We predict all the fixtures. Even though we're a fan of one club, we watch all the football matches because we love football. So we come and discuss the football with you guys, break it down, talk about the latest as far as the teams are concerned, injury news and things of that nature, just to make sure that we, know everything that's going on with all these teams. Get the latest news as far as press conferences and the coaches' discussions and everything. But this is a program that is on YouTube, so I need you guys to do the YouTube things for me. You know what that is, right? You see it in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all you need to do, people. Like, share, and subscribe. Of course, there's other things you can do to contribute to the channel. There's a feature when you drop in your comments, you can hit that dollar button. And yes, put your comment in the form of a super chat so it'll show some additional support to Jason Gooner TV. See? Yeah, man. So now that's out of the way, we can get right into the football, people. So first and foremost, as I say, like the video. As soon as you come in, it's like basically your entry fee. I don't really have anybody at the door standing up taking your money, but I do have someone there saying to smash the like button. Same thing. Zane? Yeah, man, do that for me, people. So how is everybody feeling on the Friday night here? I hope everybody had a good week. Everybody's in good health. We had some events happen this week where I reside in the United States. Yeah, but at the end of the day, people, what are you gonna do? I did my civic duty and I voted, and that's all that matters, people. So it is what it is, all right? But this is a football show, so no need to go down those roads. Those roads lead all over the place. We don't even need to go there. So, people, first thing we want to do, the best thing, let's pull up the latest team news from the press conferences today. Hold on, people. Must I get something pulled up here? All right, so them have some players that them talking about. Oh, go on for the check something, people. Hold on there. Customization. Details. Yeah, we should be good to go. All right, cool. So let's get this on screen, people. We're going to discuss the latest injury news before we get into the first game of the week. So let me get that on screen for you guys. Club by club updates. All right, so this is basically the latest team news. So what we want to do is get this up. And this is Enzo Maresca. All right, so this is Enzo Maresca talking about his team news. So Cole Palmer, of course, as you would expect, was pretty much the topic of discussion in the press conference for Chelsea. So he provided some news on that. Let's see, let's get to the direct quotations. All right, so he said, Cole is getting better, but because he can walk, and have dinner doesn't mean he's completely fit. He's getting better, and we still have 2 days to prepare for the game. Hopefully, we can have him for a session, at least on Saturday, and then we take a decision. Okay. So, yeah, he said at this moment, we're quite lucky we don't have injuries. So we have 24 or 25 players available, and we can choose. The way we have tried to do things since we started the season means we protect players, as it's one thing to play 3 matches a week and it's another to play 1. We protect the players in this moment, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen all season, because there will be a moment where we have injuries or we need to change things. So I think he makes a very, very, very good point. So a lot of people, including myself, would have been laughing at Chelsea just stockpiling players in certain positions and things of that nature. But if you look at the way their season is set up, I've always thought that the Europa League and the Conference League teams now are at a disadvantage when it comes to their domestic leagues because of the games being on a Thursday. I just think that turnaround time, especially with travel, especially in the Conference League when some of these, destinations are pretty remote, I feel like it plays a part in their league form. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and I think they will need to ensure most clubs that are in Europe, especially, or aspire to be in Europe. Obviously everybody won't be able to do it like Chelsea did, but I think it's incumbent that you get players that you believe in as your second string or B players, or even like in Chelsea's situation where, between Sancho, Neto, Madueke, and Nkunku, for example, or sorry, not Nkunku, João Felix, for example, is there really that much that separates those players? They're all on their day. They could argue that they could start for Chelsea. So I think that makes it easier now for the coach to say, okay, in the Conference League, we're just not even going to include Cole Palmer in the situation at all. He's not even in the squad. If they didn't have that type of depth and strength in depth, they wouldn't be able to do that. So he does make a valid point that, while teams like Arsenal, for example, would be more reluctant playing the Champions League to make the changes. And I think also Arsenal, to me, even though they have spent some money, there are areas where you can see a direct drop-off if a player is out, injured, or needs a rest. So they end up playing them more. So yeah, people were laughing, but the extra players definitely is a plus for Chelsea right now, for sure. All right, so let's move on from Chelsea. Next team that have some news is Brighton. So one of my favorite players in the league actually looks like he could be in contention, which is a good thing for Brighton. So Ruta did well in his absence, to be honest. Put up some goal contribution numbers, but I wish he had finished that chance against Liverpool 1v1, but it wasn't meant to be. But as you see there, João Pedro is back in training and in contention, which is a big deal for Brighton fans and, those fans of good players in general. So they asked him about the missed opportunity against Liverpool, which I agree with. I think they had that spell in the game where they really could have put their foot on the gas, but they just couldn't take the chances. Yeah, so basically the key news from this is João Pedro back in contention. So, anybody that is a FPL player, that's a player that you need to keep your eye on because he's not so expensive in the game. All right, now this one is going to be a lot of news because Arsenal look like it's gone back to the days when nobody was fit. Up top, RR, where I say? In the building, let me know. Well, Duke there can right in Duke column for him pick them, because I know say Duke are there for the picks. Caribbean Rivers and Seas say Gaza, Freedom Street. Big up Conrad Smith every time, bro. Thanks for the view. I don't know you like the video. Come see I tell the people them for like it. Up full Duke, up full. Alright, so Duke there. RR, me don't know, you know. Cause every time, let me see. When I time them, RR give me about 3 pick. I'm going in bed. Last week. I hope I start early enough for your RR. And if you fall asleep or need to go to bed, RR, just comment the rest of the game them that way, you know? You can do that. Cause look there, you could have win last week, you know. You never did go on bad with the 4 pick them when you drop, you know. Alright, so this is the team news from Mikel Arteta press conference. Now, alright, so injury news on Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, and Marino. So a bag of people. So Declan look like him have a toe issue. Him say whether he has a broken toe is for the doctor. What I can say is that he hasn't trained yet, and it is not clear he's going to be available or not to play. Him say one positive to take from this week's Champions League action was the appearance of Martin Odegaard, and he says everybody that is in the squad is going to be fit and available to start the game. So then it will be a decision whether it is too early or the right moment for him to make that step again. He was asked about Havertz and Marino, because they both had to come off in the game. Havertz had a bad cut. He was bleeding, had to come off the pitch. And Marino, of course, punched in the head basically by Jan Sommer when he was trying to get the header on target. I think he had to come off due to concussion. Yeah, so he said we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see how they react. Kai had quite a nasty cut and could not continue. With Mikel, to be fair, the day before he wasn't feeling great, and we decided to sub him at halftime. Okay, so he didn't mention anything about concussion still. He just said the man was just not really 100 sickness-wise, you know? All right, so the next one now is Tottenham. I remember people smash that like button, share the content. The people them know say, yeah, Friday night. All right, so team news, Spurs versus Ipswich. Let's see. So Christian Romero said it looked like him trained yesterday, or I'm trained today, and I'm gonna train tomorrow, and then they'll make a call for Sunday. Yeah, him say everybody that played against Galatasaray in their loss should be good to go. So just those who weren't in that game are still out. So Richarlison, I think Werner is out, and also the new guy Mikey Moore, yeah, ruled out. So that is the news for Spurs before their game against Ipswich. Conrad say you can stick a fork in them, they're done. Yeah, man, in a Spurs. Most Spurs you top. I know say Conrad dropped that while me I talk about Arsenal still, you know, but it's all right. Up full Owen. Boy, Campion was on the losing end today in the Manning Cup, but we move. Just the first game of the quarterfinal round, so of Heidel, Calabar, go find some points, you know. So let's see if there's any news from the league leading manager, Arne Slot. I believe I heard a stat that say Arne Slot has the best start of any manager in the Premier League in the first 14 games, all competitions. Something mad like that. Hot Chili, bless up. Chili is the next one we can right in once we see him forward. You know, say Chile there for drop him, score them, you know. Big time City fan. It's like Arteta try so long to follow Pep. And look when the man start really follow him. When City are lose to. Jeez and peace. Can't believe, bro. Can't believe. Alright, so Jota injury update. It look like the people them want to know when Jota go forward. Do you think they're missing Jota right now because Gakpo on farm and him say, yo, Lucho, let's go through the middle, you know. And it'll work. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that again tomorrow. Lucho through the middle. Diogo Jota is expected to return from injury soon after the international break. Okay. Back after the break, first few weeks after the international break, we expect him back. All right. Man say, yo, they want to know too much. Man, them ask him what kind of injury it is. Man say, there's privacy about this. Like I say in Holland. He'll be back in 2 weeks. That's all you need to know. So the boss say, yo, man, I tell you no what's going on with him and I'm out. Right, there has been a Luke Shaw sighting, people. It's like every time a new manager forward, him fit. So, Ruud van Nistelrooy, the interim manager, of course, was asked in the press conference. Him say Ahmad was assessed. We're still working on him to get him ready for Sunday. Hopefully it will work. So yeah, after the 2-goal performance from Ahmad, he didn't come through that game fully 100. So they're working on him to try to get him fit for Sunday. Him say Menu is progressing nicely, but still needs a little bit more time. So Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro are back on the pitch, so that's good signs. Harry Maguire is still sidelined, so yep, that's it. Now, just to let you guys know, in the Leicester team news here, it said the Foxes could be without Jakub Stolarczyk, Bobby De Cordova, Reed, and Hamza Shadri. So that's not good news for Jamaica fans. I think I saw an article in the Observer today saying the same, that he's unlikely to forward for the matches. But this is what the coach said about Bobby. He said Bobby missed Ipswich and still hasn't returned to the grass. He picked up a nasty wound in the cup game. That's the 5-2 defeat to United, actually. It's on his Achilles in an awkward position as it keeps opening up. We're hoping that heals quickly. So, yeah, I know those cuts were just due to the fact how the angles that your foot might get to while you're playing football or trying to run. It's just in a terrible spot that, yeah, and it just keeps opening back up. Yeah, I know those type of cuts, they're not good. They're not good. And you just have to let them heal too. That's the worst part. Arteta following greatness. Reggae dancehall up full. Big up, big up, big up. Last time Luke Shaw played, Trump was president. Well, I was thinking it was a more of a correlation to when a new manager forward, Luke Shaw pop out of the blue every time, you know. But this time, this time we say Trump. Big up Chris Smith. Yeah, man, hopeful, bro, every time. Horrible news for Jamaica. I'm not telling a lie. Terrible. When I read that today, I was like, no, please let it be some propaganda. Then I looked it up and I saw that, yeah, he indeed. And actually, it makes sense, you know, because I'm thinking, all right, even if I don't care if the coach, like, just thinking Bobby not starting right now, fine. But for Bobby not to be on the bench at all, I was like scratching my head, like, damn, is it that bad? Like, he just got there. And so, in a way, I was like, okay, at least I know it's not just him just so far down the pecking order. But at the same time, you know, that's the type of thing I wonder though, because today is what, the 8th? So that's the 8th, 9th, 10th. You'd have to travel on the 11th, probably. Yeah, I mean, he'd probably travel on the Sunday to try to get there for the Monday. Cause they play the Leicester game is on Sunday. Okay, so might be a little tight to leave. You might have to leave Monday. Lose 6 hours, flight about 9, so 3 hours or so. Yeah, I mean, can reach by like midday-ish on the Monday. Yes, I saw Russell on the score sheet again today. This man is on fire right now, playing the best. I can remember him playing the longest stretch of good games as well. I can remember. Knicks are kill people. That's good. Yeah, man, Lee Young. It's a rough thing, bro. It's a rough thing. Bobby Reed out. Where you say, see him drop some ball. McGee nowhere near Russell. Well, you know Chris Smith. Sometimes people just like to run away from the truth, because it don't make them feel as good. We say him look good, Conrad. All right, that is good. Yeah, that is good. I need to I wasn't able to watch that game today, but I will definitely find the clips and watch it back. Because it's not so hard to get back the League One games. Some of them other league there, it's more difficult if you don't catch it live to actually see the footage or the full footage. You can find highlights, but of course, when the player that you're looking for is a midfielder, you kind of need to watch the whole game to see what's going on. But that is good that a few of you guys got to see it and reporting. That is wonderful. I wish more of the fans would actually watch the people and play too. All right, so that is pretty much the main ones. Let me see. I want to check something. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main ones that I wanted to look at. So let's get right into the fixtures now, people. I think we should be about, 30 minutes in? Yeah, 20 minutes. That's good. That's perfect. That's perfect. Seem like the people around the football don't know talent. Yeah, I want to give them a little more credit that them know that they might know more talent than them showing. But we know that other variables and factors that play, Chris. You know what I mean? So until them factors and variables stop outweigh the actual talent of evaluation, we're always run into some issues like this, where it just obvious say players are good and them just get the chance for whatever reason. Where say Matt Harris made the championship team of the week? Mad thing. That's big. That's big. Harris how much now? Like 22? Yeah, 22. Birthday close to mine. See, them are playing almost as a wide midfielder most of the time. You can play central too. 22. Go and do it, youth. 11 played, 5 starts. Yeah, man, him just need to try lock down the first team game now. Keep the momentum there. They say Russell is slow. Yeah, man, it's madness. Yeah, my Preem just turned 22 September. Want him to have a good loan spell now, so that him can go back in the Prem and stay in the Prem. All right, so let's get the fixture on screen. So the first fixture. So we have some There's no early or what you would call the midday kickoff in England tomorrow, which is kind of different. But there are 4 games at the 10 o'clock time frame, and no more Jamaica, America. They're on the same time in people. So 10 o'clock for everybody, whether you're yard or abroad, on the East Coast at least. Brentford and Bournemouth. So this is just the up-to-date standings and everything, recent fixtures for both teams, recent times they have played each other, how the matches have gone. So Bournemouth and Brentford really close in the standing, 10th for Bournemouth with 15 points. Recently they have had 2 big scalps that of Manchester City and Arsenal in 2 of the last 3 games, and in the third game they drew with another current Champions League team, which is Aston Villa, and that was at Villa Park. So if you're looking at form, Bournemouth a dangerous team to be playing right now. They did have I wouldn't say a bad loss, but they lost to Leicester away at the King Power 1-0 before the international break, and before that they beat Southampton 3-1. Now Bournemouth for me is a team that I've let it be known a few times on this program that I do rate the coach that they have, Areola. I think he can see his imprint onto the team, the way they try to play. I think he has been unconventional in some of his decisions with this team. If you were to ask me, like, if you showed me their squad, right, everybody in their squad, and you say who would be the 2 midfielders that you would put in the deeper role in the midfield, I would never have thought that it would be Cook and Christie. Christie was always more of a player more like a Tavernier, or not quite Semenya, but a Tavernier or a Clivert, right? Little more attacking, creatively, good left foot on him. But he has turned Christie into a more of a box-to-box player. Cook, more of the holding player, just kind of keeps the tempo going and ticking, and always in the right areas in midfield. Not the greatest imposing type of central midfielder, but just seems to always be in the right positions. Very intelligent player, and good quality as well, good technical ability. Then I think he has done a good job building this back line as well. Adam Smith, the veteran, sometimes he's not the one playing. They do have some other options at right back when you're talking about Julian Araujo, came over from Barca. Max Aarons finally back to fitness on the benches now. And they got Dean Howson as well, the youngster from Spain. So they have a lot of different things that they could go with on that back line. But I do think, to me, for the experience, I kind of maybe prefer Adam Smith right now. I think Araujo could potentially take his game as the season wears on. But I think, they definitely have that left side sorted. Milos Kerkez, 22 years of age from Hungary, a player that I think his stock is rising week to week. I think he had both assists in the game last week against City. So, his stock is rising. Yeah, there it goes, 2 assists. Now on the Man City, and the for Brentford, sorry, not Man City. Last week they lost 2-1 to Fulham. This game was really crazy because Fulham, I thought, was the better team for most of the game, but Brentford did really well just in the defensive third, breaking up plays right in the last moment. Fulham was guilty of a bit of wastefulness as well in terms of the final pass, but in the end, Brentford, got. I won't say got what they deserve, but Fulham definitely deserved to get something out of the game. And in the end, they were able to find that not 1, but 2 goals in injury time to beat Brentford 2-1. Now, it was a cruel loss this time. Brentford will be at home. If you look at Brentford's form in the last 5, you'll see at home they have been pretty much putting a lot of goals in the back of the net. 5 goals against Wolves, 4 against Ipswich. Now, but the problem for me with Brentford right now is they have been leaking goals. No clean sheets in the last 5, as you can see, and they have had some performances at home that they've given up 3 goals on both of those days, to Wolves and to Ipswich. Now with Bournemouth coming in on a decent form, you know, they definitely can't afford to have the type of defensive performance that they had the last 2 times they've played at home. I think Bournemouth is in the type of form right now, especially with a player like Evan Nielsen looking like he's finally getting, you know, fully used to this league and how it works, and, you know, where he can find his ways to be effective in this team that he is in now. I think, you know, Brentford need to make sure that they are locked in. They don't want to give up any opportunities to the likes of Semenyo, Tavernier, Evan Nielsen, Kluivert, you know, that front four. You know, the only thing really holding them back for me is just consistency. I think all 4 of those players have the ability. It's just about them, you know, putting it together on a more consistent basis. But definitely in any spell of a match, they can be very difficult to deal with. So I don't expect any different tomorrow. I think there will be different spells in this game where both teams look like they could potentially win. I think it should be a very entertaining game of football from 2 coaches that I think first and foremost want to play an attractive style. And I think that will play out on the pitch. For me, you know, I think the fact that Wissa is back now, the balance is a little bit more there in that attack. I still would want to see the likes of Ashade maybe at times, but I understand Keane Lewis Potter might offer a little bit more as far as the overall game. So, you know, I understand that Ashade is getting more spot duty at this point. And they definitely have more than enough firepower with the likes of Mbuma and Wissa on the park anyway. Bournemouth, on the other hand, I think it will look pretty similar to what we've seen lately. You know, the front 4 that I mentioned and the back 4, just, you know, that right back position is one to watch who starts there. But yeah, for me, this game is going to be entertaining. I think goals will be scored in it. A part of me wants to say I'm going to give the slight edge to Brentford just because they're at home. But Bournemouth has been having this knack for finding the result lately. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends in a 2-2 draw. And I think Bournemouth might just score one late to get that point. So 2-2 Brentford and Bournemouth. Let's check in and see what the people think. So Richard Edwards agree. And Hot Chili agree with the draw, but not the score. Big up yourself, Richard. I watched your baller yesterday. And the big coach side get knocked out of the tournament, but yeah, man, proud same way. Them a come from far. You know me I talk, Richard. All right, Duke, when I get nothing from you. Me say 2-all. I'm gonna write 2-all in the actual score like a EED. All right, let me erase that. All right, cool. All right, next game, people. So the first game, Brentford and Bournemouth. And that will be Brentford hosting that one. All right, next game, Crystal Palace and Fulham from Sellers Park, London. I think South to be exact. All right, so let's check the quick view just to see the recent form and whatnot. All right, so Fulham, 9th place now, 15 points. Crystal Palace, 10 played, 7 points, right? They had a draw with Wolves last week. Fulham beat Brentford 2, and we just talked about that one. Do want to look at Fulham's lineup last week and just show you guys something. So Fulham went with this last week. Pretty standard back 4 and keeper, obviously. You know, that's been a staple so far this season. Tete really holding down that right back spot over the likes of Castagne, who did come on in this last game kind of early as well. So maybe the coach thinking about giving Castagne a chance. In midfield, they went with Burge and Pereira as the pivot. Then they had a 3 in behind the striker of Iwobi, Reece Nelson, and Emile Smith-Rowe. Smith Rowe and Iwobi interchanging quite a bit. Reece Nelson kind of staying more to that left-hand side. And then Raul Jimenez, who has taken over the starting role from last season's sensation, Muniz. He came in late. Traore came in and had a great impact off the bench in this game. And Harry Wilson, of course, the biggest impact of all with the 2 goals. So I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes a coach might make subs and it looks like the players who came on all just put in a good shift. Does that mean you go ahead and start those players, or you say, okay, I know I'll just have a similar formula the next game, but I need the game to be changed. I know these guys can do that. That's something that's always interesting to see from coaches from game to game. How much stock do you put in a player coming off the bench? How much of his performance is a product of, he came in when the players were tired, or, what I'm saying? Like, you might want him to just duplicate or replicate what he did the last game. And the only way for him to do that is if you keep him as a sub. So, it's always interesting to see how different coaches analyze those things. Because if it was up to me, well, not up to me, but, the coach could look at this last game and say, okay, I need to give Traore, for example, he needs to get back his position, because Traore was starting before this game and he decided to switch it up and start Reece Nelson in this one instead. And Reece had a good game. So, it's not like you just automatically say, okay, Traore was a little bit more effective when he came on, so let's play him. No, that's not the case. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lineup he goes with. See if players like Traore, Harry Wilson did enough to kind of earn a start, or he sticks with what he tried last week. Because as I said, Brentford was really lucky, as far as I'm concerned, to have the lead for so long in this match. Obviously they did well in terms of defensively, but Fulham definitely played good enough football to not only equalize, perhaps take the lead. So interesting to see what the Fulham coach goes with. Now, Crystal Palace last week got the 2-2 draw. This game pretty much had like a mad 20-minute stretch from the 68th minute to the 80th minute, where both teams got 2 goals each. So this one ended 2-2. Set piece goals basically for Crystal Palace. Chalobah with a good finish from a tight angle, and Guehi, after the flick from Munoz from the corner, tapped it in at the back post. So, no Eze in this game. So, there definitely was like a big gap as far as creativity in this team the last game. They still managed to create some decent open play, entries and things like that, but, just not enough quality in the final third, the final pass to get things done. Mateta really was missing Eze on the day. He was kind of playing with 2 players that, on their day probably want to finish off the attack as well. So, definitely I think that's what was missing. Kamada tried to supply that from the midfield, but, he was too busy doing the work of a central midfielder. So, they won't have Eze back this week, so they'll have to, try to find a different solution. But I think, right now, with the injuries that they have right now, I think this team probably picks itself. Pretty much. Because Chris Richards still out. Yep. Yeah, so Crystal Palace, man, I don't know. Like, I was thinking maybe it was just a blip for them at first, but I just think, it was enough that Olise had gone to Bayern, but now they've had played a few games without the other player who pretty much can carry the team in terms of the creativity. He's also injured right now. So, yeah, I think Fulham getting Palace at a good time. No Eze. Yeah, I think Palace is going to prove to be, the fans will get them up for it a little more. So I think they'll get a goal. But I do think that in the end, Fulham wins this one 2-1. Yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1 Fulham. Actually, said 2-0 Fulham. Palace pitch too small to play football. I'll cancel each other out. All right, I'm going to come with the field size metrics. I like it, Richard Edwards. I like it. Hold on, Duke. What is your plan this week? To just clone Jason Gooner picks? Mine, no brother. Man, I forward with a strategy this week. All right, so West Ham Everton is the next fixture. So let's just quickly look at that one. Boy, what a game. What a game. All right, West Ham Everton. Of course, you know Mikel Antonio in this one. This is a battle for some points right here, people. Look at the proximity in the league. Both have, both very close to each other, 14 and 16 points, 14 and 16, 11 and 9 points in 14th and 16th position. Nottingham Forest whooped West Ham. And, look at some of these results from West Ham. The 4-1 really stands out in their favor. Good win over United. Pretty much got Ten Hag out of the door. So I'm sure United fans love that day. And then Tottenham gave them 4-1. Nottingham Forest gave them 3-0. So not the best from West Ham so far. But if you look at the difference, what do you see? These two games were played at their home stadium. How much of a difference does that make to this team? A huge one. And for that reason, I believe Everton is going to go down in this game coming up. A part of me is saying draw because West Ham is just so hapless at times. But I do think that they give their fans something to cheer about. I'm going to say that West Ham actually get a 3-1 victory in this one. That is exactly what I'm going to go with. Everton, for me, I still feel like over the 38 games, they're going to be right there in and around that relegation. They have been playing better lately. Have to give them some credit, but I still just feel like, if you hang in your hat on Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Beto, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And Dwight McNeil, long may it continue the form he's on, but I don't know if it will. We just have to wait and see. But I just think for this one day atmosphere, I think at this stadium they're just a little bit more up for it. I think Bowen probably has a good day. So I'm going to say 3-1 Everton. 3-1 West Ham, sorry. Yeah, 3-1 West Ham. Hot Chili said 3-1 Everton. Wow. They say just don't trust West Ham. Boy, you're right. We don't really trust them neither, but I feel like somehow, some way, they're going to just follow with a performance. All right, Wolves and Southampton, people. Wolves and Southampton is the next game. And yeah, if you notice, I'm just going to go through a little bit faster because sometimes it just kind of get drawn out. So just want to make sure the show flow. So this one, what you call a early relegation 6-pointer. The 19th and 20th place teams facing off. This one, of course, will be at the Molyneux. 4 points for Southampton, 3 points for Wolves. Of course, Southampton got that big result last week, 1-0. Ramsdale heroic in that one. Can he have 2 weeks in a row of that type of performance? Jose Sa actually has taken over in goal for Wolves, and I think they have looked better with him in goal lately. Had a good season I think about 2 seasons ago. He was like up there in all the rankings and ratings, but kind of fell off last year, lost his place. Looks to be heading back towards, his best form now. But I think that Wolves, if we're being honest, and I've said it before, this is one of those teams that, yes, right now they're in last place in the league, but I just feel like, their defense is a bit shaky. I have to say that. But every other part of the pitch, I think they're good. I like their attack, the balance that they have. They have different players can use as well. I think Guedes has looked good lately. It might be a time to just give him the start and see how he looks from the start. Bellegarde is back from injury. He's a dangerous player. And you have the speed with Forbes as well. So they have some options off the bench. Sarabia, I've been calling for him to get more time. Finally getting minutes again. That's good to see. And of course, they have Hee-Chan Hwang out. So there's a lot of players actually in attack. I think they would do well in January to go and get some defenders, some more established ones at that, or at least one, a leader type defender just to drop around there. I know Craig Dawson is a leader, but can you improve on the quality of Dawson and still get a leadership type quality? I'm sure that player is out there somewhere. So that would be my advice to you, Wolves. The midfield, the forward line looking decent. Just get 2 more defenders in, and I think you guys will actually stay in the Premier League this year. And I think this game will go a long way to keeping you in the Premier League. I think you do actually get your first win of the season in this one. I'm going to say Wolves, with a good performance in this one, end up winning this one. I'm going to say 2-0. They actually get a clean sheet as well. 2-0 Wolves. Yeah. I might regret that. All right, Nick. I'm adding. So we are on game number 4. You missed Brentford, Bournemouth, Nick. Crystal Palace, Fulham. West Ham, Everton. And now we're doing Wolves, Southampton. Big up, Dad. Wagwan. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Them dead. Them dead. Them dead. Big up, Sherman. Not even need pre. Yeah, man. Wait, so I get enough points this week? Oh, you catch me. Boy, Duke, that was maybe the longest stretch of time when we never get a wife from you. So I don't know what you want to call it. Improvement, or it's just you not pay attention? I don't know. Yo, the 3-1 Everton is a mad pick, you know. All right. Nick said 1-0 for West Ham, Everton. Neverton. We say Wolves must win game. 2-1 to Wolves. So I see it too, you know, man. They play too much good game and can't get a win. I think this is the week. 2-1. Actually, say surely Wolves wins. Everybody just go with the surely. Duke say surely too. 3 him say. All right. 2-all Brentford, Bournemouth. Boy, you know ball, Nick. So the Y key wasn't working on your phone? I think Palace Fulham is the only one, Nick, unless we miss it. No, I don't miss it. Palace Fulham, Nick. That's the only other one. All right, this match now is a big match, you know. I could talk about it a little bit now. So the next match on the fixture list, I think this is the 12:30 game. So we actually get an extra game too. Well, not extra, but a different time slot game with the Liverpool Villa game. So the last 2 games of the day, people, when it's just one match I play, 2 very good games. So the first one from the Amex Stadium, Man City versus Brighton. So you can see the table there. Man City second now behind Liverpool on 23 points. Brighton in 8th on 16 points. So this was last week's fixture. I thought Brighton played really well in this one. Probably deserve something out of it, but you can't take anything away from the quality that won the game as far as Salah's goal. But I have to say that, you know, Brighton had 2 gilt-edged chances to go up 2-0. And, you know, who knows? It could have ended 2-all, or that 2-0 could have really just been a bit too much for Liverpool at that point. And, you know, the game could have been a lot different. But this is how Brighton played the fixture last week from the start. Igor Julio and Jean-Paul Van Heck started in the back line. Right now, they don't have any Lewis Dunk. And I don't know. Don't tell the Brighton fans, but I feel like that might be a good thing. Purvis Estupinian and Joel Veltman. Now, I was surprised when I saw Estupian starting at left back because I thought Kadioglu should play, but Kadioglu is a player that can play pretty much everywhere. If you look at his like profile as a player on any of these sites, it literally says right back, left back, CDM, CM, right mid, left mid, center attacking mid. He can play every position. I think the only thing that is not listed as is a striker, a left wing, a right wing, and center back. And he might even be listed as center back too. But Ferdy Kadioglu, he was guilty of missing one of the chances as well, but he scored a really good goal in the first half to give them the lead. But Brighton just, as usual, like, they just seem to never miss when they bring players in. You know, all of them seem to be accomplished players. You know, this kid, I already didn't know much about him. He looks good in the midfield. Ruta. I'd seen him before playing for Leeds, but he looks better playing with Brighton with around the players that he's playing with. And Danny Welbeck, I think my dad said it last week. He was like just a consummate pro, which is perfect way to describe him, honestly. And even when you look at the bench, Baliba didn't even play. He was having a great couple of weeks before this game. FIFA just called into the Netherlands lineup, can't start. Adingra, when he first came, people were saying, boy, he's wicked. He's relegated to the bench now. Ferguson was all the rage some years ago, can barely get game. So yeah, they have quite a bit of players, and they're all decent quality. So I think this Brighton team, it's not a fluke that they're, in and around that, 6th, 7th, 8th, that whole area up there, really and truly close to Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal is only 2 points ahead of them at this point. So, yeah, Brighton is a team that I don't think it hasn't been a fluke that they've had such good results this season. They've had some tough fixtures lately. Chelsea gave them 4-2. They beat Tottenham 3-2. That was a really good game. They went to St. James Park and got a 1-0. That's a really good result. They'll probably be a bit disappointed with this 2-2. And then last week, I think they should have definitely been disappointed. Could have definitely gotten something out of it. Now, Man City is coming into this fixture in a situation that's a little different for them than most. Of course, they were knocked out of the cup. They lost in the Champions League. And of course, on the weekend in between those two games, they lost to Bournemouth. This game at the Vitality, I think something that might get lost in all of this is in this game, Manchester City really could have scored a whole bunch of goals in that first half. Once Bournemouth took the lead, I think Haaland missed like two big, huge chances and one that he probably would normally score as well. So the narrative that, City's falling apart and all these things, I get it. The results are not there, but when you look at the underlying stats and everything, like they're still creating, they're still, doing the things that they normally do. They just have not been as clinical lately. And, I don't know if that will continue forever. Because if you look at Haaland in the league lately, and trying to remember when his last goal was, I think he got the lone goal against Southampton. But other than that, I think it's like one goal in his last 4 Premier League games, I want to say, which for him is like unheard of, So, I don't think it's panic stations or anything for Haaland, but I'll just say, over time, the absence of Rodri is going to tell. And I think right now, another major issue for them, if you look at how they started this game, they have Nunes basically playing, a wide left role, not necessarily asking him to play like how Doku would play it or Savinho would play it. But I think, in the perfect world, they would just have some wingers fit. Doku came on in the 85th minute. Savinho didn't play at all. So we did see Savinho play in the Champions League game. So that's a good sign. I we saw Doku come on as well. So, who knows? Maybe this is the game where he's able to start both of the wingers at the same time. Or does he stick with Nunes, who has, even though the result wasn't so good last week, I think he's been a good player for them in the last few weeks. Who I think needs to step up for them right now in the absence of De Bruyne and Rodri, and, Doku and Savinho and Grealish not being 100 is Phil Foden. I think Phil Foden now is this is going to be the 11th game of the season. We know he had a slow start after the Euro, needed some more time. But, at what point we're going to start holding him accountable? Imagine if somebody like Saka had gone so long not doing much for the team like Foden has lately, then it would be the end of the world. Saka not good, he's overrated, this and that and the third. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If he's going to step up this week or not. But I think that if City is going to step up and win this game against Brighton away from home, Phil Foden is going to be a big part of the story if that is to happen. So, let's see. Is he finally rounding himself back into form? We haven't seen it in the goal contributions just yet, but I wonder if this is the week where that starts. I think I'd be tipping him to have a decent game, Phil Foden, because it's really on him right now. When you look at the team, I mean, yes, Erling is there. We want him to score the goals, or they would want him to score the goals. But I think, it's Man City, so you need that creativity. You need that player in midfield. stringing passes together. And in Foden's sake, or in Foden's case, I should say, he has that added bonus of the creativity and the goal scoring. So they really need something out of him. And I think if it doesn't start this week, they're really going to struggle in this fixture against Brighton, because I do think that Brighton is going to cause a lot of problems to Man City in this game. So tough. The timing, man. The timing is too good for Brighton. I feel like Brighton is going to do it, Yo. Brighton 2-1, me say, Yeah, man. Brighton 2-1, people. I'm going to take it to them. On Nick say 1-0 for Fulham and Palace. All right. Richard ever say Wolves lose, stop watch football. If you have sense, predict a City loss. However, 2-1 City, I believe. Yeah. 2-1 Brighton may I go still, but I think it's a 2-1 game for real. 2-all Brighton City. I could see that too as well. If I didn't go with the 1 odd goal, I would go for the 2-all. 3-2 City defense poor, need a little shaking up. Yeah. I think not only, I think a part of the reason why it's so poor is they don't really have any fit people. Even the man them who are playing them not look fit. Because Kyle Walker never fit against Bournemouth at all. We say hear this every November. Haaland might be sold in FPL. Well, just true, me I want to know what me I go on with and when me I cook up. I can see Sunday what I did with my FPL team, but it's a mystery. Did I keep Haaland or not? I don't know. Oh, my bad. I was just looking at like the lineups and stuff. My bad. Let me get that back shared. Sorry. Yeah. I know the ladies appreciate it, but I know you don't. All right. So yeah, I was just looking at this, Nick. Honestly, just the team sheet from last week. But yeah, this was who played last week. As I said, Kyle Walker wasn't fit, right? Ake just coming back, didn't look himself. Vardiol was probably the only one like firing on all cylinders, and then Akanji also been touch and go lately. So and you could kind of tell they didn't look so comfortable out there when they had to run in space. Yeah, and the way Brighton play, with the quicker transitions, they're gonna have to be able to run in space. So, hopefully they were able to, get a little more fit for their sake. I hope they didn't for my sake, but we'll see. Richard Edwards said, bet if you sell him, you're going to score a trick. I tell you. So it always works, Richard, man. Tell you the truth. Pristine, up full. Well, go on. I'm adding pristine. So pristine, say, you have to go improve that weekend. You know that already. But I don't have to tell you that. You don't know that already. So you miss out 4-game pristine. Brentford, Bournemouth, Palace, Fulham, West Ham, Everton, Wolves, and Southampton. Foden could be selfish at times, in my opinion. Where you say I'm not taking on the shot them enough. Fair enough. Can only hope City continues to struggle. Yes, that is true. I wouldn't mind that at all. 2-1 City, said Duke. Could happen. Akanji was just injured. Ake just injured. Walker plays like he's injured for a year now. Not so long, actually. You love exaggerate about Walker, They say Vardiol and any tree. You got your cup tonight? No, so I don't have the cup DJ gigs, but I don't respect Brighton. That you don't know. I don't respect Brighton. Brighton I play some good ball, All right, watch. Faith and strong mind. Yeah, man, pristine. Okay, you say okay, you're gonna improve this week. All right. Yeah, man, that's the spirit, You never know. It might be your week, But yeah, I think this fixture will be a great one, and I'm very happy that the Premier League give it its own time because I want to watch that game in full and don't have nothing else to go on. So yeah, Brighton City should be a good one. Next game should also be a good one on paper. People, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So yeah, the next fixture, people, the next fixture, big one as well. Big one as well. Uh, no, gigs. Me never pick Brighton to beat Arsenal, but we never play Brighton at Fidem Stadium either. We're going to play them at Arsenal, and at the time, we weren't really losing there, So yeah, I felt pretty confident that we were going to beat them, but that was the start of the red cards madness. Emery masterclass, you say? Well, we shall see. It was a Emery disaster class last week, but let's see. Fixtures. All right, so the next fixture, last game of the day, 3 o'clock. We like the 3 o'clock time, Premier League. We don't mind it. Zine? All right, so this is the matchup. First against sixth, 25 points, 18 points, respectively, for Liverpool and Aston Villa. As you can see, they had some crazy fixtures last year, 3-0 at Anfield and then a 3-all at Villa Park. Last week, of course, Villa with a week to forget. Morgan Rogers getting the goal from the set piece. Tottenham cannot defend from corners. Vicario is like a flyweight in the goal, and he was pushed around. Rogers got that goal in the 32nd minute, but then after halftime, it was just like a different Tottenham team came out, and they really blitzed them in that second half. And for the first time in a while, since Emery has gotten to Villa, he really did look a bit shell-shocked on the sideline. 4 unanswered goals in the second half, culminated by a brilliant free kick by Maddison off the bench. And it was not the best result. And then they followed that up in midweek with a disappointing result in the Champions League as well. So a bit of a blip in form for Aston Villa. Let's take a look at who started the game last week. Back four pretty settled as of late. Once Cash is fit, Kanza is fit, Dini and Torres, that looks to be the first choice. Then in midfield is where it has looked a little bit different lately. Bailey has been struggling for peak fitness as far as I'm concerned. And so John McGinn has taken up that spot on the right. Tielemans and Onana in midfield, Rogers and Ramsey on the left. And then you have Ali Watkins up front. So Diego Carlos, Mings, Matson, Buendia, Bailey, Kamara, John Duran, and Jaden Philogene. So Aston Villa, I don't know. I mean, when you look at the starting lineup, I hear some people saying, boy, they're really missing Bailey on that right side. McGinn don't give them anything. But I think in this game against Liverpool, I am almost certain that he's not going to start Bailey in this one, especially seeing that Bailey is not really playing that explosive right now. He probably wants the safety and the guaranteed work him know I'm going to get from McGinn against this Liverpool opponent that's coming up. But to be totally honest, I think Emery will have a good plan tactically, but I just feel like right now, I don't know if the team is in a confident enough space to go in there and get the result that they would really, really want. And I even worry that they won't be able to get the draw either. Yeah, right now, I just feel like they're not really the same animal outside of their stadium lately. And I'm going to say that Liverpool is probably going to take this one. I think what's going to be interesting about this Liverpool team, Kelleher obviously in goal right now. Van Dijk, I would expect to start. I know Konate came off, but all signs pointing to him being okay for the game on the weekend, or the game tomorrow, I should say. I'm interested to see what he does at left back. Does he stay with Tsimikas in the league? I know that Robertson played in the Champions League, so he has been kind of tending to rotate that left back position in the cup, between the cup and the Premier League games. Ever since Saka dealt with Robertson away in that Arsenal-Liverpool game, you haven't seen him start in the league again. He went back to the midfield that he's been playing all year with Soboslai, McAllister, and Gravenberch last week, and Gakpo just proving, too hot to drop at this point. So, he's gotten his spot on the left where he's clearly more comfortable than in the middle. And, Darwin Núñez got the start last week, but Lucho Diaz got the start through the middle in the Champions League and thanked his manager with a brace. So, who knows? Maybe Luis Diaz is the short-term answer with no Diogo Jota, because clearly I don't really think that this coach really rates Darwin Núñez that highly. He's not really having him in the fold once everybody is fit. So, yeah, I think Liverpool right now just in a better space than Aston Villa. And as I said, I don't think Aston Villa away from home will be able to hold it out for as long as they'll need to. I think, this game for long stretches might be close. It might even take a while to break the deadlock. But I think once Liverpool gets that goal and they have that little spell where they're really on top, I think that right now Villa's just not sturdy enough to keep them from scoring on them. But there's always the Emi Martinez effect. This man can just decide on this day, nah, let in a goal. But I still feel like even with his heroics, they're gonna concede. But I feel like Villa probably will get a goal. Yeah, I just feel like Villa is just weak right now. Too weak right now. So I'm gonna say 3-1 to Liverpool. Not the result that I really want, but just being honest. Richard Edwards said 2-1 Liverpool. All right. Bless up, Float. What go on, bro? We're outside. Yeah, man. Every game them play at home, brother. For them name Pivalul, 2-0. Clean sheet, yeah, big. First Liverpool loss, 2-1 Villa. All right. That one was courtesy of Uncle Ray and his nephew. Hot Chili, 2-2. Yo, whoop. Yeah, this game should be a good one, though. I just feel like Villa right now, I just don't see them executing like how we have seen them before under Emery. Even the high line getting breached a little too often. I'm not catching people as offside as frequently as one time, I'm just a little bit out of sorts right now. All right, so that is the 6 fixtures on the Saturday. So there'll be a full slate on Sunday, 3 games early at 9, and then the 1 game at 11:30, the big one, Chelsea Arsenal. So let's go back to the fixtures so we can get to the next one, which is Manchester United and Leicester. So this will be the going away party for Ruud van Nistelrooy. I read today that he would love to return as manager one day full time. If Man U, they beat Leicester 5-2 in the cup, they won 2-0 in Europe, which was their first win in Europe in a while. What if Ruud have the team drop 6-0 tomorrow? Them can tell Amarim to stay at Sporting or too late. Is there any scenario, Duke, where you just say, yo, say, I just want Ruud to stay? Or you not get tricked? You not get tricked by the interim tag when the manager them somehow always do great when them is interim. But it's a Villa go pull a Forest tomorrow. You see, the problem is I don't trust Villa defense. Like right now, Forest defense are move better than them in terms of as a unit, Villa might have better individual players, but their unit is not tight like it once was, And even Emmy let in some little questionable goal here and there in this little run when they might lose some game, Some ball were close to him where him would have tell you, yo, someone should have saved that. And the same thing my virgin said to, I would say, yo, why Rude can't just get the work permanent, man? Look how him go on good. And I must say, brother, as soon as the ink not even dry up on the contract, him lose a game. Actually go further, man, say 3 losses in a row. But a true thing still. It's like, all right, I don't know if anyone know play golf, right? But see in a golf, sometimes like you might put a ball and you miss. And you finish the hole in but when the hole done, you go back and you try and make the putt. You see, when you go back and you try and make the putt, almost 99% you will make it because it don't mean anything. It's the same thing. That analogy goes right there perfectly. Like if I'm the interim manager, especially once Amorim gets named, so I know for sure I can't get the work, then you just manage free and just do your thing. And the players even play free too, because you're not staying. It's not like, the evaluation. Who cares if he's evaluating me? I mean, yeah, as a professional, you're going to want to play the ball game properly, but I just feel like there'll be less pressure. You don't have a manager there to say, oh, you get bench or whatever the case is. Finish hole. That's true still, you can't finish hole. But brother, I not talk about the hole, I talk about the hole in the ground where the golf ball go in, Yeah. Or we can't say hole in the ground and golf ball. That's a why too. I have to start speaking next language where Duke not understand. If me know I get why. Anyway, basically, I was making an analogy for interim managers and how it's easy because there's no pressure, and that's why sometimes when a guy is interim and him have success and then him sign the contract, there's usually like a period where they struggle because the pressure really is on now. Right? So, yeah, that was my point. Anyway, Man United and Leicester. I can't even call it a mid-table. What is 3/4 table battle? 13th and 15th, 12 points and 10 points. If I'm being honest though, from like this spot right here at 12, if you get to 15, you're pretty much right there in and around some of those, 8th, 9th teams. So it's not really that big of a jump if you kind of get a 3-point result. But as you can see, United, the last 2 weeks, have only garnered 1 point. Leicester, the same, just 1 point from the last 2 weeks, and both won 3 weeks ago. So, Leicester, honestly, on a little bit better form because they have 2 wins in their last 5, whereas Man U only has 1 win over Brentford, coupled with 2 losses and 2 draws. So, right now, this game is anybody's game. I have seen a bit more freedom under Ruud van Nistelrooy so far. I just think the fluidity is a bit more improved. It seems to be getting Rashford, Garnacho, Fernandes on the ball in dangerous positions. Fernandes has become a little bit more of an influence in the game as well. And I think Højlund has been a little more dangerous looking as well in this stretch. So, positive signs for United, whether Amorim can come in and kind of imprint his style on a team that's not really his players remains to be seen. But I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is leaving a nice little, I wouldn't say like a full blueprint, but at least, he has identified ways to get their dangerous players into better positions on the pitch. Amad Diallo is going to be a late check. Right now, he's on form. He's been on form all season, but everybody but the Manchester United managers seem to realize that. So, I think he announced himself this season fully, winning that game, with the 2 goals. They won 2-0. I think he would want Amad to be able to be fit enough to play, but more than likely he'll probably come off the bench. But hopefully he does get some game time because I do like that player actually. Amad Diallo, I think he's really good. Leicester, on the other hand, you heard they'll be without Bobby. Let's just take a look and see how they've been setting up lately. Jordan Ayew got that late injury time goal. It was a really good goal as well last week. Hermansen been keeping well in this league so far, keeping the score down for Leicester at the time, keeping them in games, just like last week. when Ipswich really and truly could have gotten another goal before the equaliser in injury time. Foss and Vestergaard got the start. So Vestergaard finally back. He was out for a while. Christensen and Pereira played the full-back position. Earlier in the season, they were playing NDD in the number 10 role, and he was actually putting up some decent stats up there, but he's back to his familiar deeper role in midfield. He partnered Winks back there. Then Fatau, the summer signing, started, as well as Mavididi, their star from the championship last year, and Facundo Bonanate, who's on loan from Brighton. Very good player, left foot. Really skillful, technical player. And then Jamie Vardy, the ageless one, started as well. So, I think Leicester have them somehow staying up this season, but they're gonna have to figure out where they can get points from. I don't know if this particular fixture, I think it will be a decent atmosphere in United Stadium, because there must be at least a little bit of optimism. They saw their manager dispatch Pep Guardiola in the midweek. They saw their team win a European fixture for the first time in a good little stretch in the midweek, and they know that this will be the last time that one of their legendary players leads out the team as a manager in the interim role, and that's Ruud van Nistelrooy. So I think taking all those things into consideration, I just feel like the moment and the feeling in the stadium will be positive. That will filter to the players, and I think they actually do get a job done this week. Reluctantly, I'm going to say Manchester United wins this one 3-1. Yeah, I think Leicester somehow, Vardy, somebody get a goal. But I think United will be too much in the end. Manu 2-0, says Duke. Richard Edwards agree with me, 3-1. Actually said 2-0 to United. Nick agree with the 3-1. Okay, Pristine drop everything. Thanks, Pristine. So West Ham, Everton. So 2-1 Everton. Wolves 3-1 over Southampton. Agree with that. Brentford to lose 2-1 to Bournemouth, and Fulham 3, Crystal Palace 2. All right, cool. And Liverpool Villa, I think I got already. Yeah, 2-1. So how about Man U Leicester? Pristine, let me know. Beat them 5-2 in the cup. Yeah, they did. I mean, it's tough to really go so far with that, because Leicester played like Connor Cody, and all the players that don't play in the league basically got to play. So it's not quite the same. And actually, Ruud is like, yo, I'm interim coach. I don't care. I want to win every game. So he had a pretty strong team in that cup match, to be honest. Can't say last time, no, United Ruud might have to do this next season again. Nah, I don't know, man. I think this Amorim guy is sharp. I really do. Even though I kind of said that about Ten Hag when he was coming. So who knows? Duke, how long did you think about this? About a week now? Jeez, man. All right, so United, I think they get the job done this week. Pains me to say it, but I think so. All right, next game, people. Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. So going into this season, if you were to say, okay, game week 11, Nottingham Forest will host Newcastle, and you say one of these clubs will be third and one will be 11th, everybody would probably have this flipped, right? So Nottingham Forest has been the surprise package of the season so far. I would say them along with Chelsea, kicking on so quickly with the new manager. Some people saying Liverpool is a surprise, but because me know ball, I could see that they were going to be a formidable team from even in the preseason, just watching them play and their style. And I thought this coach's style actually fits the players and their profiles now that they have better than Klopp style. So I am not surprised that they have done so well. No, I didn't think they'll be doing this well, for sure. But I would say Forest is a bigger bigger surprise to me, because I definitely had them, mid to three-quarter of the table. Comfortable, not quite relegation threatened, but I didn't have them definitely not in no top 3 after no 10 games. So kudos to them. I think the manager won the manager of the year, and Chris Wood won player of the month, or of the month, not the year. Manager of the month and player of the month went to the manager from this team and the striker from this team. So whenever that happens, a team is doing well. Newcastle had the 1-0 victory over Arsenal last week. Pretty much just scored a goal and were able to just, keep us at arm's length, comfortable defending. That Lewis Hall, Livramento did really well at the fullback position. Livramento pretty much keeping Trippier out of the games, which is, pretty tough to do, especially considering how Trippier has played the last couple of seasons under this manager and in this team. But yeah, he's been kind of phased out at this point. For the younger, more mobile player, definitely doesn't give you the type of quality in terms of the crosses and some of the chance creation, but in the overall game defending, being able to handle some of the pacey wingers in the Premier League, I think he's definitely much better equipped for that. So Eddie Howe has made his decision there. Looks to be paying off for him as well. People were laughing at them for dropping all that money on Lewis Hall, who barely played at Chelsea. I think he's looking like a really good player. Even saw this week people saying, is he the answer to the left back problems for England? So yeah, I think Newcastle has done well. I mean, people just figured when they got the new ownership, okay, it's another city, they're just gonna buy everybody. They have made some big purchases, but I think that they have been smart in who they have bought. The players that they have bought, do tend to kind of fit together as well, which is very, very helpful. It's not just spending money for spending money's sake. So you have to give the Newcastle ownership some credit there, I think. I think that they're better than their table suggests. That their position in the table suggests. And I think this game right here is a good test for Forest as well, because I think it's getting to that point now in the season where teams are going to be like, okay, Forest is third. We have to, let's see how Forest plays when teams are coming there now saying, okay, this is one of the better teams in the league. We have to get up for it. It's a different proposition when teams are coming and saying, oh, it's Forest, and you turn them over. Rather than, okay, we have to be up for this, guys, because it's Forest at home. So let's see now that the narrative has kind of changed about what kind of team they are. How do they handle that? A lot of teams that like Forest, who maybe didn't even have aspirations to be finishing this high in the table, once that pressure starts to build of, teams scouting you differently, teams, taking you way more seriously. Not that every team will take every team seriously, but subconsciously, I'm sure teams are looking and saying, damn, this team is third, Nottingham Forest, like what? So yeah, I think it's a tough one to call, people. Forest has been really stingy, giving up goals as well. Very few goals at home, especially they give up. Tempted to send Nilal, No, Chris Wood must score. So, all right, I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1. Don't think Forest get the 3 points this time. 1-1. Pristine said 2-0 to Manchester United. Everybody a top manager until them touch United. Chris Wood to score against his former employees. Yeah, Richard Edwards, I see it the same. I think both strikers might get a 1 goal. Maybe Garden get a goal. I'm not scoring a while. 2-1 Forest. So it's going with Nuno and the boys. I could see it. 1-0 Forest. I could see that too. Chile said 1-1 as well. Yeah, I think this game is gonna be tight, man. I'd be surprised if it's not 1 goal in this one for sure. All right, so that's Pristine on me. I wait for now. I don't know Fana and Biggs G. I mean, look out for the commenting in the morning, so we're adding it to the table. See, I know, so I feel the style that. All right, so Let's go to the next fixture. This one is Tottenham and Ipswich. So all these 3 games that we're doing currently, they will be at the same time in the morning. So find Goal Rush, get your 3 devices ready, whatever you can do. But this will be simultaneous. So Spurs moving up the table a bit, 7th now, 16 points after their 4-1 win over Villa. Ipswich got the draw last week, 1-1. Should have got the 3 points, honestly, but they gave up the goal late. And so they weren't able to secure their first victory of the season, but they do have 5 draws. That's how they've compiled their points. They are in the relegation zone in 18th, so they have a couple teams below them. I do envision Wolves scoring a victory, so Ipswich, would want to keep up with them somehow, maybe a point away from home. But people, I'm going to be honest with you, Tottenham is going to win the game, okay? They have been scoring good amount of goals at home lately, 4 in their last 2 home fixtures, and that was against Villa and West Ham. I was going to say they're playing, those are better teams, but really and truly only Villa. I think West Ham right now is about playing like Ipswich level. And I think maybe they don't quite get the 4, but maybe they do. All right, I'm going to say they get 3 this time, but they can't keep clean sheets. I'm going to say 3-1, probably a set piece foolishness by the keeper as usual. So 3-1 to Spurs. I think they keep rolling at the home stadium. Put them Solanke in a FPL this week. Yeah, man, I'm in there. 4-1 Spurs. Yeah, I was going to say 4-1, but I think it might just be 3 this time. 3-0 Hot Chili. And Nick agree with the 3-1. Duke said, what Duke said? 1-0 Ipswich. Yeah, the high line going to get broken at least once. Yeah, that's true. And they have injuries too, because Van de Ven out, Romero is touch and go. So it could be like Dragosine and Ben Davies, that ain't the best. I think Dragosine got a red card, but it don't matter in this league. Just the Europa. 3-1 Spurs. Yeah, pretty popular score. All right, so the game now that we're going to discuss before dropping some predictions is arguably the biggest of the weekend. I mean, you could argue that the Liverpool-Villa game is equally as big in terms of, standings and whatnot. But this one is definitely another good one. 4th versus 5th this season at Stamford Bridge. Both teams on the same amount of points. Chelsea has the edge in the goal difference category. So Chelsea, have 2 victories, 2 draws, and a loss in the last 5. Arsenal, on the other hand, 2 wins against the 2 relegation teams. They lost to Bournemouth, drew with Liverpool, and then lost to Newcastle. So basically in different form. For Arsenal, for sure. Chelsea, very similar form, and they have played some formidable foes. Liverpool, no slouch, obviously. Man U, not really having the greatest run of form this season, but still a good team nonetheless. And then you have Chelsea 2-1 over Newcastle. That was a good result for them, big result for them, really. Last year, it was 2-2. I remember that game. Chelsea pretty much dominated us for about 60 minutes, 65, 70 minutes. We got a consolation, not a consolation, but we got a gift of a goal that Rice converted, and then we ended up equalizing that game as well. And then we definitely put them to the sword in April. I think this was like some kind of crazy circumstance though. Like Chelsea didn't have anybody playing in this game. Let me see. Some madness, man. Petrovic starting a goal. He was the keeper though. Gilchrist had to play. Caicedo. Okay, that's everybody. So just Cole never play. Yeah, I think Cole was out for this game. But yeah, it was not a good day for Chelsea or their fans. I remember that being bad. So this is what I need to talk about now. So before I get into Arsenal, let's first just look at Chelsea and what they were up to last week with their starting lineup. So this is the back 4 that they went with. Gusto actually played on the left-hand side of the 4, and no, how did it go? No, Gusto was on the right, James was on the left. Then he had Fofana and Colville as well. Pedro Neto looks to have, held down the starting spot now in the league as well. On that left side, Noni Madueke on the right, Palmer through the middle, floating, roaming. Then Caicedo Lavia proving to be a really good pivot in the middle. Nico Jackson up front, obviously. So Enzo pretty much dropped. And also, I would say, Sancho is not available currently, but I would be shocked if when Sancho comes back, Neto doesn't continue to be the starting left-sided player. I think he just offers a little bit different dynamic to that front line. He's probably the most direct of even the four. Noni's direct as well, so he's up there. But I think Neto is class when it comes on to 1v1 take-ons and stuff, and getting the service into the box after the take-on. So I think he'll keep playing. It's going to be really tough, guys, for Arsenal to manage, because the only advantage I see us having is taking advantage of the backline's frailties. And the way Arsenal has been playing lately, it's like we don't even have a focal point. So, the things that I would want to see us doing, and the thing is, like, Havertz does that well when he does it. But, we're asking him to do so much, be a midfielder, be a forward, be a false nine. If we just simplify the game a bit for whoever's going to be the striker, and occupy those players in the back. I think they have cards in them. They have mistakes in them. The goalkeeper, quite unsure at times when he comes off his line to take care of situations. So we just need to keep putting them under constant pressure, more balls over the top than normal, in terms of just going a little bit direct just to keep them honest. I think that's going to be necessary. And I just feel like we need to just put their defense under pressure, because they are and have been prone to mistakes. Arsenal last week, this is how we lined up. Partey at right back again. Hopefully that is over. We saw Ben White play in the midweek. Did look good in terms of his fitness. So hopefully Ben can start this game so that Thomas can get back into the midfield. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen, because we know Declan Rice's touch and go probably won't start the game if I was to guess. So I would go with Partey in midfield. A part of me is thinking, look, how about going back to the Partey Georgie pivot that we used to have from time to time? You have the cover. Partey is extremely fit now, right this second. So, I think he can cover the ground that Jorginho maybe doesn't make up for. Take Marino out of the firing line for just a game. Don't bother start him in this one. Go with Partey and Jorginho. Then I don't care. Him just forward, I don't care. Just the boost mentally to the fan base, to everybody. Start Odegaard in this game. Start Odegaard, start Havertz, start Martinelli, start Saka. Right? And if you don't want to start Martinelli, I'd be totally okay if you started Trossard on the left-hand side. That would be fine as well. Because we've seen him playing that Odegaard role, and he's been kind of up and down, up and down. He started the season out a lot better playing on the left, where that is more preferred role. So let's see him in that role again for the first time in a while, if you're going to start him. But if you're going to start Martinelli, I understand that as well, because you do get that threat in behind a little bit more with Martinelli. So maybe that will be a strategy we'd want to employ, knowing that Chelsea is all about the inversion, the fullbacks, and all these things. So that space is there on the quick counter if you want to utilize it. So I think this game right here is going to be what they call sometimes a gut check for the Arsenal team. I don't believe that they have been playing as badly as the results have suggested. If you look at the underlying metrics of a lot of the games we've lost, I know people are like, metrics, stats, who gives a crap? The score is the score. But I think sometimes, even when you're having bad results, you need to really analyze the stats, because, I think that sometimes they'll tell the story of how long a rut like what we're in is going to last. And I just don't think that those metrics really tell a tale of it being just a sign that the team is just forgotten how to attack and how to get goals. I don't see it that way. I just feel like even that Inter game, when I really took my time and I watched back that game, we had chances to just, I don't know. I mean, Saliba literally had a header inside the 6-yard box that somehow he didn't even make a contact with the ball and he was free. So there were so many different things that happened. Havertz literally took a perfect shot when he controlled and swivel and volleyed it, but the guy, it just hit on the underside of his leg and goes inches past the post. I mean, just was one of those days, and the problem is we have had one of those days in a couple of days in a row, and that's why we are where we are right now. But I don't feel so badly. Even this Newcastle game, we took it to them for the most part. We didn't create enough, I agree, but we move. But I think this one, Coley P, is it mind games? Are you good to go? Yeah, I think the experiences of the last few seasons get us over the line, you know. People, we're wobbling right now, there's no question. But, you know, we've been here before in terms of wobbling, you know, not in November, but it was December last time. And we just have had a decent record against Chelsea, even at the bridge lately. So, I don't know, man. Gabriel just bullies Jackson out the game. Cole Palmer will be the key. I like the matchup with Timber and Madueke. I think Timber can handle him, you know, athletically over there. The Neto Ben White one is concerning, I must say. Quite concerning, but Ben is intelligent. Hopefully he can do him thing over there. Yo, you know what? Well, it can't be more than, yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 to the Arsenal. 2-1 to the Arsenal. Stay 7 points adrift, you know? Because I think Liverpool would have won already against Villa. So 2-1 to the Arsenal, I'm say. Richard Edwards said 1-1. Yeah, I could see that too, you know. Man say, show your loyalty, please. What? To him side? The man want to win the league just like you, you know, actually. 2-2. Nick said 2-1 to the red team. (2-1) Chelsea. I knew that was coming. All right, so pristine. I don't forget your last 3 game them. Forest, Newcastle, Tottenham, Ipswich, Chelsea, Arsenal. I don't believe I missed them either. Yeah, you just never get them. So the last 3 games, I never get pristine. It should be a good game though, people. I think it will be a little bit more entertaining than the Man U Chelsea game we saw last week in terms of just the play. Yeah, 2-1 Arsenal, man, I say. Raya make some big save for you. All right, so this is the league table currently, just in full. Wolves in last, Southampton, Ipswich Town. And then out of the relegation zone, you have Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester City, West Ham, Manchester United, Brentford, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Fulham, Brighton. Then we have Tottenham, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Man City, and Liverpool. So that is the league table. So we never looked on yet. Just pre-war going in the goals. So Haaland gone 11, Mbeumo 8, Chris Wood 8, Palmer 7, Salah 7, Jackson, Welbeck with 6, Delap, Diaz, Ali Watkins all with 5. Assist Saka with 7 in the lead there. Then you have Coley P with 5, Salah with 5, Damsgaard with 4. Wow. Indeed, with 4. You see, them should have leave him at number 10. Elliot Anderson 3, Nico 3. So Nico giving you the assist with the goals as well. That's good for them. James Madison 3, Dwight McNeil 3, Bernardo Silva with 3. Oh, Jan Bednarik. So that goes to show you that Southampton coach style is a passing style, you know, man. Even though if them man did actually play every game, them would have long past that. Look who leads the league in clean sheets, people. One Nana. Rhea, Pope, and Becca right behind. Keller not keep no clean sheet. Guess not. Oh, Spurs are lead the league in goals now. Oh. Man United, brother, them a tackle. Yes, people. So, that is it, for the week, Yeah, man, that is it for all the fixtures. We got them all down. As I said before, all those who weren't here live and you want to be a part of the standings, just drop your comments in the comment section after the video is finished, and you can be involved in the standings for the week as well. Freezing Chenko say hot chili. Nah, man, he can stay in a prison. Look how long Haaland has scored and the man still 4 goals ahead. No. And that's the problem, You see, as people reach all 9-10, 3 straight hat trick. Roger should be topping passing list tiers. Yeah. He normally would be, that's for sure. But not this year. That is for certain. All right, so is there anything else I wanted to do tonight? I think that was it, Predictions, team news, yep. FPL and FPL draft. Yeah, I'm not going to show, I know why I'm even put that in the title. I'm going to take it off. Because I'm not showing nothing, people, and I get my ideas. Just know, say, I pull a maybe use when I'm something them this week. Yeah, when I'm chip them, because I just kind of want to make some, some use when I'm chip them. Yes, Duckland, good point. Even though this is the EPL content, you don't know Jason Gooner, huge Jamaica fan as well. So tomorrow morning we have the press conference at 10 o'clock. For the first time that I can remember, it's going to be virtual, actually. So they will do it in the offices, and it will be open to anybody who can join the Zoom. Well, anyone who was invited, really. But I'm sure it was sent out in the various media groups and whatnot. So, hopefully it's a good turnout, and we still make good use of the opportunity to ask the coach a few questions. Did a program, I think it was yesterday during the day, about 23-man squad. Had some folks reach out to me today and just confirm that one of the names that were on my list for the 23, and of course I did mention while I was doing it that it's my 23. I don't have any knowledge that they have their papers and all these things. I wasn't sure. It's like a dream 23 that all things being equal, everybody having their papers, this is who I would pick, type of thing. But I was told that one of my goalkeepers indeed does not have the required paperwork to play for Jamaica just yet. So Corey Adai would not be eligible to make the squad. But I am just glad that I brought his name up. Maybe that will, stoke the fires a bit more, and we can maybe get some progress on that, because I do think that that's a player that could actually help the pool. I know people don't tend to think of that position because we have the great, the incomparable, the one and only Andre Blake back there. But injuries happen, people, and people aren't superhuman. So there's going to be a time when he can't play, and you want to maximize. You want to have the best talent around just in case that does happen, right? So it's a player I've been looking at for some years, and I think he's been improving steadily. And 6'8" is 6'8". You cannot go around that fact, right? So anyway, found out that's not possible, but that's okay. At least now we have some clarity. We know, and we're gonna work on some things as well to try to shed some more light on that whole process. so that people can have a better understanding of how that whole thing goes, because I think it would be helpful, just to learn as much as possible about the process. Maybe we'll be more understanding, maybe, or maybe we'll have more ammunition to say, hey, why not doing it this way, or whatever the case is. But either way, information will be great to be shared and learned. So I'm going to try to work on something where we can get a little bit more information on how the process actually goes, right? So yeah, we're going to be working on that to try to get that done for the people. Yeah, man, I think it's important for the way our national team is structured and whatnot to kind of know all that information as well, so we can, know what could be the cause of some of these prolonged, what seems like forever, pathways to citizenship, right? But yeah, that's just about it, people. 10 o'clock in the morning, virtual press conference that will be announcing the Reggae Boy squad. So, people will be tuned into that, I'm sure. I think it's right when the 10 o'clock fixtures kick off, which is, I don't know. I guess that was just the time that made sense to them. I know that it's a busy day in Jamaica with the Costa Cup and Manning Cup and things of that nature. So maybe that had a part to play in the timing of it as well. So, yeah. No, I have not mentioned it at all, but we can definitely mention it now. Bonnie Shaw had a hat trick today. Big up to Bonnie. I was kind of sad and happy at the same time, though, because she scored a hat trick on our national goalkeeper, Becky Spencer, who just recently, congrats to her, signed an extension with Tottenham that will see her staying at the club till, I believe, 2026, I want to say. So congrats to Becky, and commiserations to Becky for conceding a total of 4, I think it was, and 3 of them to Bonnie Shaw, who I'm sure when you guys meet up at the next window, will definitely be reminding you about for sure. So, yeah, hat trick for Bonnie. Again, proving to just be too much of a handful on the day. And, I wouldn't say she had a dry spell lately, but it was nice to see her get another hat trick, another like dominant game. I think today would have broken the record for most hat tricks in the league. I think she was tied for the lead going into today, and she would have broken that tie with this goal. So now she's right back on pace to a goal a game in the league. So she's played 7, started 6, and has 7 goals and 1 assist. So that is great work from Bonnie. And let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah, Gigs, me I tell you, bro, I'm happy and I'm sad because I know them I play Tottenham, I see the alert on my phone for the first one. I see the alert. I'm saying, no. Becky, I get stitched up. Yeah, man. So this is what she's been up to. Look at that rating for the season, 7.8. Just crazy rating score so far. And as I said, 7 matches played, 6 starts, 2 team of the week so far, 7 goals. That 2 team of the week will become 3, I'm sure, because she'll make the team of the week this week as well. She has 7 goals, has missed 4 big chances, so it could have been even better. Goal conversion is 25%. Has 3 headers, 4 right foot goals, 1 assist. She has created 2 big chances though, and she's actually averaging 1.1 key passes a game, which is not bad for a striker. Recoveries per game, let's see, 2. That's not bad. So she's putting in some work defensively. 1 possession 1.5 times, 1 tackle a game. Yeah, not too bad at all. Dribbles, that's not really her main forte. So only 1.1 per game. I'm sure she would like to get her dual statistics a little bit better too, perhaps over the 50% mark for both the aerials and the ground. Even the aerials, she'd probably be wanting maybe over 65, 70, you know what I mean? But she's going up against the big defenders or the biggest players as well in the back line, so maybe that's a part of it. She has 2 yellow cards, so decent discipline so far. Sometimes she does tend to, in her pressing, be a little bit late in the challenge sometimes, earning herself cards, but That's good that she only have the 2 so far this season. She does have some, I think she has a goal or maybe even 2 in the Champions League so far. Let me check. So she's played 2 more in the Champions League and has a goal. Yeah, so what's that? 9 games total, 8 goals and 1 assist. So she's doing her thing. She's definitely doing her thing, Khadija Shah. I also know that Taylor, our new left back, she, I think, had a brace on the weekend last week. Yeah, she scored 2 against Aston Villa in their win, and won the man of the match honors as well. She was in the team of the week for the week as well. So big shout out goes to Taylor Hines. I was really impressed with her in the France game. She was under the cosh. She never gave up. And yeah, she's definitely one that I think is going to improve our team for sure. Let's see, round 6. Yeah, see Taylor Hines and Bonnie Shaw. So 2 Yardy in a team of the week. Well, actually, 4 Yardy. Because Buchanan and Lawrence could have played for Jamaica too. Remember that. 4 Yardy in a 11 youth. That's round 6. That was last week. And Shaw will make this week. Because this is round 7 now. She gets a 9.7. So she'll be there. So yeah. Bonnie Shaw killing people today. Well done. Also, speaking of girls playing, congrats to Florida State. They won the semifinals of the ACC tournament in penalties over Wake Forest yesterday. Actually, watched a bulk of that game. I was watching Mimi Van Zanten play. She was playing like left back, left center back-ish. Cameron Simmons actually converted by the FSU coach to play right back. She played right back pretty much the entire game until later on when she had to be subbed off with a little knock. And then, of course, up front now, not really starting right now, but getting a lot of minutes, in the collegiate game in the States, you can sub off and sub back in type of thing. So she had some pretty long stretches up on the pitch. She was playing basically like a 2-striker system with another striker, Jordan Dudley, US under-20 national. And yeah, she looked dangerous. I mean, she was in and around some dangerous opportunities, and she buried her penalty in the shootout as well. Soleil Washington. So, yeah, man, 3 Jamaicans representing for FSU, and they're on to the ACC final again. Of course, they're national defending champs. So, yeah, it was quite a good fixture. I enjoyed watching it. And it was interesting to see, like, just a player like Simmons just doing something else on the pitch, just showing her versatility. Because she did look comfortable in the right back role, just technically looked to understand the position. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that she was able to execute that role so well in a game against, Wake Forest is one of the better teams. I think the ACC is probably the strongest conference for women's football, so in America. So yeah, it was a tough matchup for them. And you are right, Chantel did get a start in this game last weekend, 90 minutes. Good performance as well, 9.3. I mean, it wasn't a loss, but it was only 1-0. Good to see her get a chance to bounce back. I thought she had a really tough game against France, to be honest. One of her poorer games I can remember playing for Jamaica, actually. Usually really sure-footed around the back, made a few little errors that caused us to get under pressure, one leading to a goal. So I think that performance was more of an anomaly for me personally. I think Chantel is better than what she showed. But yeah, it just goes to show the importance, Hopefully she can nail down a place at Leicester, get some regular minutes, because I think that will help going into the window with South Africa at the end of the month. So yeah, it's quite interesting, all the happenings with the girls. Have a lot of optimism for them. And I want to feel a similar optimism for the Reggae boys, but let's see. I will support no matter what, but I will also always come and tell you guys the truth when it comes to the football, even if it means I must, tell you something like, yo, Jamaica might lose, or Jamaica will lose, or I predict this. Don't take it personal, people. I'm just trying to do the analytic work and try to remain as unbiased as possible, even though I am a fan. It's tough. It's a battle. It's a battle, people. Yeah, man, mixed feelings. Bonnie always destroying Spurs every time. Every time. One at a time, I remember that she did it to Spurs, and it was the other keeper that used to split time with Becky keeping, and I was like, yes, at least it wasn't Becky. Bonnie's amazing. She really is. Chantel got a start. Yeah, she did. Yeah, hopefully she can continue and get a next start this week, because she played well. So, it's not like she did anything to tell the coach, boy, I shouldn't play again, But yeah, that's pretty much it, people. Dropping the thoughts in the comment section. Anybody that missed the actual program, please just be sure to drop your comments in the comment section in regards to the score lines and the predictions. If you'd like to be in the standings right now, I'm only missing, so Pristine, if you see this, because I don't see you drop any more comments. You gave me all the results up to Man U, Leicester. So I'm missing your last three. So that's Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Tottenham, Ipswich, and Chelsea and Arsenal. So just drop them in the comment section, Pristine, so I can be sure to add them. Or send you a message and just, send me back or whatever, so we can get that done. But people, anything else that you guys think I should be talking about right now in terms of anything going on? Just have a little bit more time. We're about what? Now under 12 hours away, like 11 hours or 10 hours and 45 minutes from the revealing of the next Reggae Boy squad. Definitely can't wait for that. Excited to see what kind of solutions McLaren is going to come up with for this USA challenge. And it all starts with the 23-man roster, because no matter what kind of tactic system, whatever you want to do, if you don't have the players, it really don't make any sense. So the first step to beating USA is tomorrow, and that is figuring out what 23 players we will have to work with to try to get the job done over 2 legs over USA. Looking forward to seeing what the coaching staff has come up with, and my hope is that I am free and able to drop a question or two in the press conference tomorrow, people. So again, there's a couple of reasons why you could leave comments tonight. The first one, if you want your scores added to the standings, just drop the full 10 scores in the comment section. I will add them in. And secondly, people, I do plan on being present at the press conference tomorrow morning. So if you guys have any questions you think I should ask, send them in, and I will pick out the best one. My plan was always to pick the best one from a fan and then have one from myself as well. Hopefully I have the honor of asking 2, and just know that I will ask mine first, people. So if I don't get to ask yours, don't vex. But if I get one shot at a question, you better believe it's going to be mine. All right. But I will show some love to, a subscriber, a follower who does send a question in, and I will ask it for you guys. All right. And I don't even know. Yeah, I would not say it's from me. I would just say, a loyal subscriber to the channel sent in a question, and I'd like to ask it, and I'll ask it. Yeah. But in fear of the people I'm not liking it, I won't divulge the information as far as who sent it. Okay. Now, if the question shot, then I will just say it was a collaborative effort between so and so and me. You know what I mean? I joke, people, but I take nobody credit and I can't have it. Yeah, man, don't worry. I'll have a solid question though. So, and you guys know this. I'm not gonna go and waste anybody's time, put my hand up and ask foolishness. So it will be something worth asking people. You can trust and believe that. All right. But anyway, people, we are at the end of tonight's show. I had a great time breaking down all 10 games, all 10 fixtures, all the latest news, injuries, updates. We got through it all. We had some participants tonight, so we greatly appreciate those that participated, keeping the show going, leaving comments, interactive session. That's how we like it over here on Jason Gooner TV. And listen out tomorrow, as I said, if you're a Reggae Boys fan, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a virtual press conference. Don't know if it will be live on YouTube while it's going on, or they will just kind of put it out after it's completed. That I'm not sure of, but I know since I have access to it, I will be there live. And yeah, hopefully you guys will hear Jason Gooner's question when you watch it back once the JFF releases the footage. All right. So big up to everybody in the building once again, and thanks so much for the support. My name is Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And as always, after this program, even though I sound a little tired tonight, up and gone in.